Hello, everyone, and welcome to the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resorts. I did it, Drew. Did you hear
You
it?
did it. I heard
you
it.
didn't even catch it. You didn't
I
even
heard.
catch
I
it.
did catch it. I heard it.
It's been
I
like
was going to
20,
just keep on moving.
it's been like 20 some episodes, and I haven't done it. And then here I am, episode 25, the quarter century mark here, and I'm blowing it.
Boom.
Anyway, it's America's greatest family resort. There's only one resort here. There's not multiple resorts. So I apologize. Anyway, we're your hosts, Dominick, Dougherty.
Wait, we're just going to keep
I might as well
going?
just go like this.
Yeah.
And Drew Fasy.
We're just going to keep moving with that?
Yeah, man, we're just gonna keep going. They know now it's only one resort, and that I make this mistake. It's a good one, and
Okay.
I pointed in the wrong direction for all the YouTube people. Just to, we're going back to our roots here in this episode.
And we are your local guys.
You know what? It was the crappy weather today, Drew. That's what I'm going to blame it on. I'm going to blame it on
the weather.
The
Absolutely.
Late March nor'easter, typical Ocean City. Fingers crossed, it's the last nor'easter of the season, and now we move into just the beautiful spring. Already getting buds on the trees. I can see them.
Yes,
it's waiting to happen.
Yes.
Saw you driving around town today, trying to make the best of the weather.
I was out in that nastiness today. Yes, I was.
Man, yeah, well, me too. I was taking the kids and a friend over to see the movies. You want to just call this one a day? I can just wrap it up now.
No, I'm kind of enjoying it. Let's keep going.
we went to go see the moving pictures, Drew. The moving pictures. It was a good time. It's a great time.
Was it talkies?
It was black and white. And
where did you go, and what did you see?
I went over to Ventnor Square Theater over in Ventnor. They haven't same company that's rebuilding the Moreland Theater here in Ocean City. They're not quite done with that yet. Very excited for that one.
Very excited for the Moreland.
And I went and saw the new Ghostbusters movie. It was awesome. It was definitely a good movie. Family friendly, few curse words. I didn't find it to be super scary or see anything where it's like, whoa, that was pretty wildly inappropriate. Except when I checked out and paid, that was a little bit of a scare. I'm not going to lie. But that's not what it's about. The kids had fun. They bought a couple friends, and
Benny and Lucy and friends.
Benny and Lucy and friends. 5 movie tickets, 3 popcorns, 4 drinks, over $100.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, not the days of the 525 matinee that I remember at Tilton 9. So
I worked at a movie theater in high school. The Highway Movie Theater, still around.
What was it, like a quarter back then? Quarter, or maybe 50 cents.
From memory, I believe it was $4 for a ticket and $2.50 for a matinee.
Did you actually have to like load the reels of the movie on there? And
yes, it was old school. They had an actual technician who ran the movie. Oh yeah, it was old school.
You didn't get elevated to that level. You were ticket taker.
I never graduated above usher.
Usher?
Yes.
So you were the guy who. Now, did you ever bust anyone for bringing in candy? Because I may or may not have bought in some of my own candy.
I wasn't invested enough to go down that road.
Yeah, I don't.
That was a nice old theater though, and it was a nice job in high school. We worked nights,
and did you get to go see all the movies for free too?
Yes, which was great.
Did you ever get to stay like afterwards and like when there were no one around and watch the movies?
No, I would watch them. It wasn't a super busy movie theater, so I would watch them repeatedly. I remember my bodyguard, the jazz singer with can't remember, Neil Diamond, the jazz singer. Great movie.
Wow.
I could probably come up with a few more, but yeah, that was back in the day, Dom. Back in the day.
Now, did they have an adult section in this movie theater? Were there like adult movies in this movie theater, or was it just
no?
It wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't like that.
I don't know. I don't remember what movie. I wasn't alive back then. I didn't know how movie theaters worked.
You were.
No,
It was a good job. I like that job. So
did you
that
did you wear a little blazer and stuff? Did you have a blazer? And
red coat, sure.
nice,
A
nice.
white shirt and I had a red blazer. I had to wear a white shirt with a red tie, and I remember that mostly because I had to work the night that the Phillies won the World Series in 1980. And after they won, I went to Five Points in Philly to celebrate with 10,000 of my closest friends. And I was beer soaked, and my tie bled all over my white shirt.
Similar to that laundry thing we
that,
discussed today.
that's a great memory of that 1980 World Series.
It is. It is. That was right before I was born, actually. That was probably a few months before I was born.
There you go.
So cool, man. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
But no, on another note, guess what I got to do last weekend?
I couldn't venture a guess.
I got to go on the Ocean City Fishing Pier.
Wow, you're kidding. Right after we did that episode, you got on the pier.
I did. I went for a run. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see my quotes here, but a run, if you want to call it a run. And I got to the pier because that's where I stopped because it's a good turnaround point. And there was a member there, Dan, going under the pier. And I was like, hey, my buddy Drew and I, we just did a podcast about the pier. We talked about it and everything. And he's like, oh, awesome. He's like, you ever been out there? I'm like, I have not. And he's like, you want to go? I'm like, yes, I do. And he took me out there. I got to see the clubhouse. It was super cool. It was like walking into, history, and all the rods on the ceiling and stacks of books and records. And it was pretty cool.
That is cool.
It was cool.
And you got to go. You went all the way out?
I went all the way out. And he was telling me that, showed me this one spot in the pier where there's like the yellow line, and there's a board, and it goes up. And he said that's the first edition they put on it, which they called was called the outer T. It would now be like the inner T. And a barge, I guess, broke off and hit part of the pier and during a hurricane and broke it. So they used the insurance money to build out a little bit further. And then, obviously with the new edition, they went out even further. But he did say that there are two open houses, one towards the end of July and one in the beginning of August, where you can go out on the pier for like a small donation or the canned good or something like that to go to the Ocean City Food Cupboard. So it's cool.
Big support of the Ocean City Food Cupboard.
Yeah. He said when they first did it, they were like, who's going to want to walk on the pier? Who's going to want to go out there? And 1,300 people came out the first time.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah, and they usually do them they usually do the two on a Thursday night, so it's a family night. I'm not sure, know what specific dates for this year yet. So we'll have to get in touch with them somehow this summer and let people know when they're going to be.
Yeah, we'll announce that for sure.
But he said that they were really good events. They bought a lot of good donations and did a lot of good for the food cupboard. So not only do you have to go out on the pier, and I will admit it is a pretty cool view. To look down the boardwalk from that angle and look in the other direction down the island and see it, because you always see it from the other perspective, so it's always neat to get it from that perspective. It's kind of like when you go to Brigantine, if you ever go to Brigantine and you get to see Atlantic City from the other side, and you're like, oh wow, pretty cool. So
yeah,
very very random. But Dan, thanks again for the tour. It was super awesome, and definitely go back later. He was just coming from the fishing flea market. It was at the Civic Center, and he said it was another great event. It seems that they always exceed their expectations. So that's a shout, testament to not only their organization, but our community for getting behind events like that and organizations.
Yeah, that benefits the Ocean City Intermediate School Fishing Club, and I heard that they outgrew the intermediate school multi-purpose room, and they had to move it to the Civic Center. Of course, I didn't hear that until after we talked about it on one of our podcasts.
Well, we'll know for next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll know for next year. So, Drew, do you got any shout outs for us today? Any shout outs?
I do. I have one shout out in 3 parts. So the Press of Atlantic City, every season, they name a player, team, and coach of the year, and they give them an award. That's for fall sports, winter sports, and spring sports. And for the winter basketball, boys basketball, they named Cohen Cook from Mainland Regional as the player of the year. Cohen averaged 21.3 points per game this season. He had 1,838 career points, which is a school
Wow.
record. In the past year, Cohen Cook was the winning pitcher for Mainland's South Jersey Group 3 baseball championship team. He was a standout running back and linebacker for the Mainland football team that won the state Group 3 championship in the fall, the state championship, and most recently won the the South Jersey Group 3 basketball championship. So we've talked about Cohen before. Heck of an honor. Congratulations to Cohen. The team that won the award was the Middle Township Panthers. They finished 28-3, won the Cape Atlantic League Championship, reached the South Jersey Group 2 final, losing to Camden, who finished ranked second in the Press Elite 11. So congrats to Middle on being named the team of the year. The coach of the year hits a little closer to home, Dom. Ocean City's own John Bruno won the Press of Atlantic City Coach of the Year award. Coach Bruno finished his 35th season. He led the Raiders to a 26-4 record and the South Jersey Group 3 championship game, which they lost by 2 points in triple overtime.
Great game.
Great game. This was Ocean City's 9th straight winning season.
Wow.
Coach Bruno is 490 and 392 lifetime. So he's 10 wins away from 500.
Now, is that a record? Do you think that's a record?
I do not think that's a record. I would say, yeah, I don't think so. I would say that Coach Hurley, who coaches a Catholic League team in North Jersey, and he's been coaching for a lifetime. He's been amazing. I don't know how many wins, but he's got to be over 500. Do you remember what school he coaches for, Dom?
Hold on a second here. Oh,
you're not going to Google.
Sorry, not going to Google, but I am going to Google because I do want to know. I'll use my phone here, so I'm not.
It's not St. Barnaby's. It's not Catholic.
St. Anthony.
St. Anthony's.
And 500.
Remember that 5 minutes after we ended the podcast.
Yes, that's the delay in the operating system.
Yes, exactly.
Kicks in. I believe it's DOS 2.0 is what we're running.
St. Anthony. So how many wins?
A little more than 500, Joe. A little more. 1,185. So 500.
Wow.
Record.
Wow.
I wonder if it'll be an Ocean City High School record. I mean, it's got to be. He's been the coach for pretty much a quarter of the time Ocean City's been around.
Yeah, since the late 80s, I think he took over.
Yeah.
Wow, over 1,100 wins. I figured that he would have eclipsed 500 by a long shot, but I had no idea.
In 45 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So congratulations, Coach Bruno. And I have to say, I know that the kids were disappointed losing that game in triple overtime, but man, what a great season. What a great season for those kids. That's going to be memories of a lifetime. I mean, they had their first game of the season was against the Prep, and they were down by 21, I believe, at halftime, and came back and beat the Prep, and then had went on a tear, and then had that game where they were down, the playoff game, the state playoff game, where they were down 19 at half and came back and won on the buzzer.
They let up something ridiculous like 7 points in the second half.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, really a fantastic season and a lot of great memories. So congrats, Coach Bruno, and congrats to all the kids on that basketball team.
Yeah, looking forward to my main man, Ben McGonigal, coming out, riding that wave from the championship game, taking the team over next year, doing his thing.
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I ran into his mother today at the Acme.
Oh, no. We're in trouble. We get in
trouble. I mentioned that we had talked about Ben and how he went off in the championship game, and she said, he got something in his head this season, because he has been playing basketball all his life and has never been afraid to shoot. But for some reason, it was something in his head that he wanted to dish the ball off more, and ended up not shooting a lot or enough, and went on a tear in that championship game. So
definitely showed up, and when Mainland was shutting down the other superstars, he definitely filled the void there. So good for him.
He sure did.
Have you been watching the tournament at all this weekend?
I think
it's funny. My one buddy, who is brothers with the Mainland girls head coach, says that the Mainland girls head coach takes off Thursday and Friday. This Thursday and Friday every year, because he's not feeling well, but it's the tournament week. So if you love basketball, you can literally sit at home Thursday, Friday, and just watch basketball all day.
Right.
I'll tell you what, though, my Gators, they lost a heartbreaker to Colorado. I mean, down, I think, 10 with 4.5 minutes left. Walter Clayton Jr. nails a deep three-pointer to tie the game at 100 with 7 seconds left, only for Colorado to inbound the ball. And it was like that Kawhi Leonard shot against the Sixers, where it bounced off the rim twice, and then went in.
Yeah,
and you're just like, oh,
heartbreaker.
Yeah, and then Walter Clayton Jr. chucked one up from past half court and still almost made it. If he was like a foot to the left, it would have banked in. So I mean, tough break for the Gators. They lost one of their key players in the SEC championship game to a nasty compound fracture in his left ankle. And I think that kind of just, when you lose a player like that. But,
so Dom, speaking of which, and I'm going to add a shout out, as I sometimes do, because I can't help myself. Mainland's own Kylie Watson, who is an outstanding basketball player. She started her college career at Oregon, is now at Notre Dame, and they are in the dance. And unfortunately, Kylie tore her ACL. So she's on the bench cheering her team on, but not on the floor. And I'm sure that's going to hurt Notre Dame making a run. But I wanted to give Kylie a shout out. Great family. I coached with Tim a season. I know Tim. He's a great guy, ex-NFL player. Kylie's younger brother, Hunter, played on the championship football game. He played on the basketball team. He's a nice kid.
He just signed somewhere to go play football, a D1 school. I want to say Monmouth or Montclair, somewhere like that. Not sure.
I can't remember where, honestly.
But I saw he was going to continue his career recently.
He'll be playing football. So shout out to Kylie. I hope
they have another
well.
younger son who gives us hell in the junior football league.
Yes. What grade would he be in now? Is he going into 8th?
I think he's going into 7th or 8th. Yeah,
he's going into.
Okay. Might be going into 7th.
Okay.
So
yeah. So shout out, Kylie. Hope you heal up well.
cool. Well,
All right.
let's get into this, Drew. Take one, leave one. In the past few years, there has been an emergence of the trademark term for them is free little libraries. So when we come back from break, we'll discuss where you can find some of these free little libraries, the history behind the free little libraries, and how you can contribute and get involved. We'll be right back. All right, everyone, we're back. And our topic today, take one, leave one, the free little libraries that have popped up around Ocean City. There's no shortage of them. You can see them, in all the neighborhoods, from the Gardens all the way down to the South End. And as always, Drew's done his homework, found out a little bit more about them, tell us a little bit about the history of free little libraries, where they came from, and where you can find them. So go ahead, Drew.
All right. So first of all, Dom, thank you for butchering the name. It's actually Free Little Library, not libraries. But you're
Well,
on a roll
that's
today,
my thing,
so
Drew. I like to make things plural
yes,
that are singular.
roll with it.
That's what I do. That's my Achilles heel of the podcast.
So the concept of these take
plural.
a book, leave a book started officially with a nonprofit based out of Minnesota called Free Little Library. Their stated mission is to be a catalyst for building community, inspiring readers, and expanding book access for all through a global network of volunteer-led Free Little Library book exchange boxes. So you can go on to their website and you can purchase a kit to build your own, or you can purchase blueprints to build your own. They have a bunch of different kits, and they have a bunch of different designs, from the lazy little library to a 2-story design to a school bus design to a Vermont covered bridge design, and tons of others. But they also encourage you to design your own to make them different, right? So it's a great concept, and it's kind of a community building thing. When you put them up, people in the neighborhood kind of gather around them, and kind of take a little ownership. It is pretty cool. Ocean City has 12 official free little library sites. Bridge Boulevard and Cardiff Road.
So
East
we'll
Newcastle.
start in the Gardens, and we'll make our way.
Of course.
South.
Bridge Boulevard and
I thought we
Cardiff
always
Road.
save the Gardens for last because it's the best.
I'm going the opposite way for a reason.
Okay.
So stop your interrupting, my friend. You'll find out. Bridge Boulevard and Cardiff Road, East Newcastle Road, which is a summer-only box, 146 Pinnacle, 120 West Ave, 317 West Ave, 413 5th Street, 1312 Boardwalk, which is the Munchies and Memory Store on the boardwalk, 1430 Prospect Place, 3205 Bayland, 3517 Haven, 240 Clipper Drive, and finally, Dom, 5033 Haven Avenue. The box at 5033 Haven was built by a friend of mine, Terry Camerato, and she built it in memory of her sister, Anne. Anne passed away recently from pancreatic cancer, and Terry wanted to build the box in her memory and because of Anne's love of books and reading. I knew Anne. Anne was a wonderful soul, so I thought that was a special box to end up with in the official free little library section. But that's the official free little library sites. There's a ton of unofficial take one, leave one libraries around town. I built one during COVID lockdown. It was one of my projects. I had a bunch of projects I did, and that was one of them. Mine's at Belfast and Cardiff. There are 3 that I'm aware of Eagle Scout projects. Daniel Millar's at the Sea Spray Road beach entrance. Aiden
I'm familiar
Walsh.
with that one. I know
Yep.
that one well.
Yeah. Aiden Walsh at the beach entrances at 2nd, 9th, 15th, and 34th. And Alex Costello's at the Lake Memorial Park. So while we're on Lake Memorial Park, I'm going to go sideways for a minute, Dom, if you're okay with it.
Always.
Yeah. So in Lake Memorial
Lake
Park,
Memorial Park, first off.
it's between 4th and 5th on Wesley on the ocean side.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. It's like that. I know what you're talking about.
You could drive by it a million times and not see it. It's got a black wrought iron gate and it's just kind of tucked away. It's a neat little park. So the Ocean City the Ocean City Public Library has installed a story walk in Lake Memorial Park. Story walk is a concept that started in Vermont, and it allows families to read a book together page by page as they stroll through the park. So it's a really cool concept. So in Lake Memorial Park, there's a brick walkway that is in an oval or circle. And the library installed these low podiums, and they put a couple of pages in each podium, and they're covered with glass or plexiglass to keep them weatherproof. And you walk around and read the book. Most of them are illustrated. It's for families, for kids, and they change the books every so often. So there's new books to read.
Cool.
So I wanted to mention it because I thought it was a really neat concept, number one, and also because I really think it fits Ocean City. So it's really cool. Great job by the Ocean City Library. Great job by the city for allowing them to do that. And if you have kids, or little kids especially, Dom, you're Lucy especially, but Benny and Lucy, you should take a walk through that park from time to time and walk around and read the books. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is a good one. I will check that one out. Ride the bikes over there.
Yeah, so I wanted to take a little turn and talk about the story walk because it's a neat thing that we have right here in town that probably most people don't know about, right?
No.
Yeah.
I did not know about it. I've been to that park, though. I have walked around that park. Now, when you built your COVID project, did you buy a template or did you free Fasy architecture?
I freestyled it.
Wow.
Not only did I freestyle it, but aside from some adhesive and some screws or nails and some stain, I didn't pay for any of the materials. I totally dumpster dove. And that was my goal. I wanted to get all the materials by finding them.
Yeah, well,
and not paying for them. And the purpose was not to pay for them, but I just wanted to have.
I wanted it to be sustainable.
Yes, and so I came up with the design myself, and it actually has a sloped roof that is cedar shake.
Oh, I was going to say the materials that you found in your neighborhood were, you know, I'm surprised if it's not like paved in gold in some way. You know, the inside shelves or all the latches, it looks like brass, but it's really actually solid gold.
Yeah, no, I cedar shake. I got some really good materials.
All AZAC
I got
everywhere.
the plexiglass. I found a piece of plexiglass that somebody had thrown
Plexiglass.
away.
You mean stained glass is what you have?
No, it's plexiglass. Someone had thrown away. I think it was a picture frame, but it wasn't glass. It was plexiglass.
It's all rock finished on one side as well too, like,
Yeah, yeah.
stone
No,
finish.
it was a neat little project when I was, when I was on lockdown. I got my USA coaches certification during that time, that was like a 40-hour course. I learned how to draw plays on PowerPoint. I built
Did your
I built shutters for my neighbor's house. I was trying to make use of my time during lockdown.
It was a good time.
It was, and my little library gets a ton of activity, a ton of activity. I see
Do you
people.
do anything to maintain this little library, like, and to be
Oh,
part of
absolutely.
the free little library community? Is there like maintenance you have to perform, or
Well,
like
see, I'm unofficial. I'm
you're a
unofficial.
scab? You're scabbing it.
Well, there's a lot of them out there, so I don't have the free little library.
Put the big rat balloon up next to your thing. Is that what we're gonna have to do,
Right.
Drew?
Yeah, no, I'm one of. There's probably more. I'm sure, in fact, that there are more unofficial take one lead one libraries than there are official free little libraries, at least in Ocean City.
Well, that's a good point. If you're seeing this on YouTube or you're catching this clip on Facebook, comment and let us know if there's a free little library in your neighborhood that we didn't mention. Because there
Well,
are.
yeah, I wanted to do that, Dom. That's a good call because
Yeah.
we could have kind of driven around town and made a list of the ones that we saw, but we'd never find them all.
No.
So instead of naming them, I wanted to put it out there that if you have one in your neighborhood, we're gonna put this episode on social media on the OCNJ local Facebook page on Facebook. I'll put it out there, and if you have a neighborhood take one leave one library, let us know where it is. Let's create a kind of a list of them.
Drew will come take all the books and not leave any. That's what he does.
No. I probably left as many. No, I probably left twice as many as I've taken. I have a lot of books because I used to read paper. As we discussed, I now read a Kindle, but I used to read paper books, and I would have an upstairs book and a downstairs book. So I have a lot. I still have a lot
in
of
each
books.
bathroom, upstairs, downstairs bathroom. That's what he means.
No, I like reading historical nonfiction. That's my downstairs book. And then I read fiction to put me to sleep at night. So that's my upstairs book. So I have a lot of these. Some books I won't give away, but I have a lot of these books that like John Grisham. They're kind of a dime a dozen. So I put 20 John Grisham books in my little library.
There isn't one in my neighborhood. The one on Fifth Street, I've gone past that one many times, but there isn't one really in the downtown area where I am. The only place I could really think to put one would maybe be in the park down the street from my house. That would be a good place to put one.
And you wouldn't have to go half a block to dumpster dive the material.
No, there's plenty of.
What are you thinking about what are you looking at? You thinking about putting it in your room?
No, this weird light just went on in my living room. This blue light. I was looking to see if my TV went on or something, or what it was. I guess it was a car driving by with some headlights. I don't know.
You could put it right on your property. You'd get a lot of activity right there at 8th and.
I do. There's a lot of people in this area. We recently added a fairy garden to the corner. So.
Oh, did you?
A little fairy garden.
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. Well, it's for fairies, Drew. It's very tiny. It's not something you're gonna, see just driving by. You got to get out and
Understood. Was that Lucy's idea?
Yes, it was Lucy's idea. I can't lay claim to the fairy garden.
I had a feeling.
So, but no, that's
so
cool.
yeah. So if you have a take one, leave one book library in your neighborhood, go onto our Facebook page, the Ocean City OCNJ local, and let us know where it is.
Yeah, just comment underneath this post, and get a little running list going, and then maybe we have a creative director. Maybe we need to get a secretary to compile the list and send it out there for us. I don't know who's going to do that job.
It's not going to be Corinne.
No, I was about to say it's not going to be my wife.
And definitely my wife already has the title, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no idea. Probably one of us. Which means it most likely won't happen. So
exactly.
We'll pin the post, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
That we can handle. Cool.
So we have some guests coming up, right?
Yeah.
And
we're gonna have a new segment in the next episode. That'll be cool. And got another installment of Local Legends coming up soon. We won't let you know who that is. Keep that one.
We're going. So it's we're third week in March. We have an election, a local election, the second week in May.
Ooh.
So we're going to try to. Well, we're going to invite all the candidates separately, of course, to come on and give 10 or 15 minutes.
10-minute cap. 10-minute cap.
10-minute cap. All right, 10-minute cap.
Cabin in 10 minutes.
10 minutes on to kind of introduce themselves and talk about their experience and
answer a couple questions.
Yeah.
And then you can decide, Ocean City. You can decide.
That's right.
It will be.
We have a lot coming up.
Do, man. Well, the big thing coming up is it's almost summertime, man. We're to count down the days to Memorial Day, it's getting short here.
We're under 100.
Oh, we're well under 100.
Under 100. Here we go with the Google again. Listen, the
twice in one episode, Drew.
Local Podcast Police is coming after you now. There's going to be fines. There's going to be jail time.
It's already like. What do you think our count's at?
89 days.
What? Not even close. No, we're recording this on Saturday night, so that's what you do. Saturday night you record podcasts. We're at 65 days today. So
65 days. Wow, I was way off.
If I publish this on Tuesday, which is a good day to let things release stuff, that means we would be at 62 days. Tomorrow Day, 62 days, Drew. 62 days. You're saying
I'm warmer. I'm warmer already. I feel warmer.
Listen, man, we had that weekend where it was like, oh, yeah, it's 70. Life is good. And then now it's like, oh, yeah, that was like first spring. Now we're back into second winter.
It was an ugly week. It was cold and windy. And today was just nasty.
I got hurt, too. I was sleeping in all week. It was rough. So.
All right,
man. Well, everyone, let us know about your free little library.
Or take one, leave one libraries.
Libraries, all right. And we look forward to sharing with you all the fun stuff we got coming up here in the next couple weeks. So have a good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the OCNJ Local, your podcast for everything happening here in America's greatest family resort. We're your hosts, Dominick Dougherty and Drew Fasy.
Boom. We are your local guide.
Got it right there on the way out.